guys, thank you to be here. My name is Eric de Broche, which is also difficult to pronounce in French. And I'm one of the main founders of Luxigon. As you might know, we are doing renderings. This is the logo and the company of the company. I designed it completely drunk. No, yeah, it's happening sometimes. Okay, so this is oh damn it, it's huge. Give me a pointer. Okay, so the name of the company is Luxigon. Like it's written on the screen, we are doing competitions and only competitions. I mean, it's 99% of our job. We drink a lot and we smoke, and it's not allowed, but I don't give a fuck. We are not sleeping, not that much. It's getting better with the age, but it's, at the very beginning it was complicated. And seriously, we have no mercy. I mean, we are not interested into money. What we like is doing images, and that's it. So the office was founded in 2007, and we just opened an office in Los Angeles last year. We are more or less 20 people, and well, we do things and we are mainly friends, which means that there is not this business idea behind the office. I mean, when I'm saying I'm not interested in money, that's for real. Though I love little money as everyone, because, you know, I want boats and clothes and whatever. Okay, slide number 2. But that's it. So I will try to explain a few things about images, like, because most of the people are assuming that images are, you know, just images. Actually, we've read a little, we know a little about a few things, and when you are doing an image, it's not a process, you know, that is automatic. It's certainly not a science. We did some really miserable rendering, but we had an idea. I mean, it's not that we are intelligent. Well, we are French, so we are intelligent by essence. But in the end, yeah, it's based on a few principles. And this is what I want to show you, is that it's not only a matter of computers and, you know, I don't know, softwares, let's say. Okay, so the point is that images are a bit like architecture. As you know, architecture is something serious. And images, because this is the step before going into something serious, is serious as well. So this is why we have this really fancy graphic, which is explaining more or less everything. So it's written. The idea is that there is a tangible world, there is I would say intangible world. And architecture and imaging are sharing the same, more or less it's the same, but one costs nothing and the other one costs zillions. So we are the good guys. I mean, if we screw things, it costs nothing. So yeah, what is interesting as well is that the image of architecture are sharing, you know, some laws. Architecture is really related, strongly related to geometry. And actually, for, I mean, centuries, they did building without knowing any of the laws of geometry. And what is interesting is that if there are laws in geometry, it means that, in a way, it's not a divine moment. If there are laws that are, you know, always working, then it means that gods have nothing to do with all these laws. It's just like, this is it. And surprisingly, the drawings and the architecture were sharing the exact same existence at some point. And because of this, because they discovered the law, actually, for example, the Greek, they found some of the law, for example, at the Parthenon, you know, the columns are already slightly inclined to, you know, make the geometry more perfect. But it was a mystery until it stopped being a mystery. And then they were using device, which as well is interesting, because we are drawing images. When I was younger, I did it by hand. Now I'm really relying on the computer. And what is nice is that most of the device, you have naked women in front of them. And I don't know why, because, I mean, geometry is something really serious, but every time I found a device that was helping, understanding geometry and everything, there is a naked woman in front. I don't know why. I have no idea, but maybe the idea that was intelligent people want to see naked women. I think. Okay, now the computer. This is so it's a brief history of time. I mean, into the technique, and then we will browse images. But so what is interesting is that at some point it has become much more easier to envision architecture than what it used to be because of the machines. The machines are helping tremendously because what is complex the machine can handle, and actually it's a bit more complicated when you only use your hand. So this is the first MacBook Air that you can see here. It was weighing a ton. And it was costing like $1 zillion. Yeah, Apple at the very beginning they were not that good, but then it went better. These are the first computer graphics. Interestingly, the first computer graphic is a naked woman. What's surprising, eh? Not a machine, not something. No, naked woman. It's always working. So, and then a telephone to, of course, call the naked woman. And then you feel miserable. Well, so to say, in a few decades, not centuries, there have been a tremendous step into the method of visualization. Still, bad buildings remains bad buildings. Bad drawings are still bad drawings. But it's just like really into nothing, because when I was younger, just making shadows by hand was taking like weeks, and it was extremely complicated. Well, a computer can do it in 3 minutes. And actually, it's surprisingly, the architects are not using the computer that much. I mean, as a drawing board, but never as a way to experience with materials, and it will come, but for the moment, it's not exactly the case. So just watch the fancy drawing and remember that naked woman is always working. Sorry girls, but that's the way it is. Okay, the same thing is that, for example, the first movie, Tron, was made with a NASA computer. It was costing like an enormous amount of money. It was extremely complicated just to do, curves and actually a bit of lighting. Well, actually, I can do this with just a MacBook or whatever PC you want. And it's interesting because this power that you have might or may lead or is leading to disaster. I mean, it's not because it's easy that you don't have to think. And this is what I want to show you through the images that we will see now. This is like one of the first images. And actually, it's interesting because it's already symbolic. I mean, if it was simple to represent reality, then people will have made, accurate sources or accurate beasts. But no, it has to stay simple. And it's actually interesting that part of my job is actually to remove the complexity, so the essence of the building is actually, shown as its most pristine state. This is why I will show you a few images. Yeah, for example, so these are paintings actually from Pompeii. And what was interesting is that actually all the laws of perspective was already there. I mean, the geometry is correct, everything is correct, but it wasn't made like official. So surprisingly, it has been lost at some point. People were representing reality accurately, but without knowing the rules, which is interesting. And what is more interesting is that I think it's really twisted to represent exterior into the interior of a room. I mean, people are really weird, the Romans are especially. Okay, then we're going to the medieval time, so I'm going quite fast. What is interesting is that, as you can see, all the angles are actually, really rectilinear. I mean, which is surprising because actually it's not happening for real. I mean, there is always 1 point perspective and 1 or 2 points perspective, right and right or in the middle. And actually, what is nice is that it's already a mental image and not at all the reality. As well, what is interesting is that while the geometry is kind of nice, the proportions are completely weird. And I mean, it would be stupid just put someone in front of a massive building and he will check that there is the wrong proportion. The reason is that there were humans, so in a way they were more important than the building that is behind. So this is why this notion of scale is as well embedded into the drawing. I'm not clear, but that's the idea. I'm French, so. Okay, so again, another one. Yeah, so the rules of perspectives are not official. And this is, so the theory is already done. I mean, now they know that there are points and that the lines are, just going in the directions of the points, and that's it, more or less. And then they did this drawing, which I think is extremely interesting for a good reason, is that it's called the ideal city. And actually, the ideal city is all empty. It makes sense, no? I mean, you do buildings, but with no one in it. Perspective is not great. Human is the failure. This I love as well, because in the painting, so it's a painting by Broche. I love Broche because actually it's like a movie. It's showing, little pieces, moments of life. And what is interesting is that you have the building, the way it has been done, because you can see the architects and the workers and everything, and the way it's used. And as well, as a method of representation, it's nice. At first, it was only the building, and then the building with the people, and then the building with the people, and the people who did it. And there is a story in a building, like you've seen in the previous lecture. I mean, what is interesting is all you get there and not actually the final result. As well, it's interesting because it's showing, aerial views, which is in a way another mental process. To see things from top is not that obvious. And when you see things from top, you understand the organization. And as well, when you are drawing or an image, you have to think what is the best method to show what the architect wants to show. There is 100 images, so get ready to... Okay, this is Rembrandt. I'm putting the Rembrandt because this is just me. I just love Rembrandt because it's dark, it's depressing. There are some special effects, which is interesting because this is the same special effects you have in movies, but as well it's a mental image, something that is floating in the air and taking fire. It doesn't exist in reality. So as well, it's a mental image. Even if it looks real, it is not. And it is interesting as well to think about what seems obvious, but is not, because you have to invent it. Then we go for the father of every perspectivist, so it's Canaletto, who did, many images from Venezia, and actually he was earning his life, so, to buy boats or to buy horses or to go with women, by making wonderful paintings of, castles and everything. They were all wrong, of course, because this is as well what we are asked to do. The reality is not enough. You have to cheat because it's just one image. And in that case, for example, the original was much smaller. But, well, what's the point of, when you do an image, what's the point of making it smaller? While it's the same price if you do it bigger or in gold. Same thing. It's interesting because, as you can see, it has started to do something that is unusual. Is showing buildings in a depressive way. And this as well is kind of new. I mean, there is a certain freedom at the Renaissance, well, at the late Renaissance, but to express things the way you feel they are, and not actually the way the client wants to show them. Okay. As well, this is interesting because I think the theme here is the city. So one of the greatest drawer, in my opinion, is Giovanni Piranesi. You've seen, very often, the jails, well, the prison. But as well, he has invented a complete city made of past, ancient, new, whatever it is. And this is what is as well interesting into drawings, is that it costs nothing. So the imagination is just the limit. So you can go very wild, and in a way, I'm still an architect. I'm a registered architect. I'm still doing competitions and everything, but I'm much more influenced by a drawing than actually by a real building. I don't know why, but it's just like it doesn't look legal, and it costs nothing, and it has no weight. So I feel there's a certain freedom into that. We're moving to the next one. So this is a French guy. So it's Louis Boulet. And what is interesting is that because it's just drawings, they went into, you know, really weird places of the mind. It was way before you can actually build it, but now we know that it is possible. And this is what is interesting. I mean, by the drawing, you can experience things. Of course, people said, well, it's not possible. Did you see the scale of the people here? It's not possible, but actually it is now. And this is really something you have to think about. I mean, a drawing is never, it's not something without any importance. It has an importance because it will be in your mind, it will be in your brain, and much better you can have them, I don't know, on your iPhone, on your wall, or whatever. And this as well is interesting, the power of the drawings. This is the first picture ever taken by France, of course, by a French guy. It's just by the window, but it's interesting because at that moment the painting were actually much more realistic than the photographs, the pictures. And this is interesting because at that moment they can paint extremely realistic, I don't know, fruits, animals or whatever, but the first picture, even if there were, you know, subjects to show the true things, were actually much more graphical than the painting. And it's as well something you have to keep in mind. It's that it's not because it looks real that it is real. Actually, this is real, while something else is not, but it's a painting. Yeah, this picture is as well something I really like. The reason why I'm showing it is that it's Paris. And what I like is the small story into this picture. Actually, it's the first time a human has been taken on a picture, because as you know, when the first camera were extremely big and you have to open the diaphragm for like a minute, 2 minutes or 3 minutes. And it was just impossible to have someone, you know, clear and neat, because of course there were a lot of people on there, but they were working, so the camera didn't stop the movement. And actually this guy, because he decided to, you know, have his shoes done, he stayed on the image. And this is as well something that I like in images, the other plots, the small stories, that if an image is failing, there's still, you know, something else to watch. And this is as well something I'm interested in. This as well is interesting. It's Claude Monet, so it's the Cathedral of Rouen. And what is nice is that actually the painting has even more detail than a Gothic cathedral. And this is as well surprising. I mean, a picture of this gives nothing, while a drawing is giving the full essence because of the small scale, you know, of the brush. And you have a density that you just can't find in reality or for truth. And this as well is an interesting point. So I'm just browsing to, you know, a few things. Okay, this is like, it was when architects were doing their own drawings. So it's Frank Lloyd Wright, the Maison sur la Cascade. And what is interesting is that actually it's exactly like that for real. So there are a few people that actually can really think clearly what they have in mind and actually represent it and then drew a drawing about it. It has changed now because it has become more technique and architects don't have the time to experience all the softwares. This is drawings by Santelia, so it's a bit the same as the Jails and everything. In drawings, you can do whatever you want. So you can change the scales, you can change the proportions, you can change the way it's done, and it's never forbidden. And actually, Santelia had a huge influence and a huge impact on modern architecture. This as well is something, yeah, that's my job. My job is, you know, there is the universal exhibition. You do a building that is already extremely complicated with a lot of cost, but it's not enough. They want a light on top of the Eiffel Tower because, you know, the Eiffel Tower in itself, it's not enough. You need a bloody light on top of the Eiffel Tower and to light it red. And this is, in my opinion, this is the depressing part of my job, is that when something is good, why the hell would you like to add something else that what is already good? And there is the fear that what you do is not enough. And I strongly believe that when you're doing a building, and even when you're doing an image, what you're showing is actually an attitude and not, you know, a building. It's an attitude that you're showing. And this is like too much. I mean, of course there won't be any real Maharaja in the middle of all that, but this is advertising architecture in a way. And this is exactly what I don't want to do. But I have sometimes to do that. This is like the most wonderful perspectivist, and probably the first one, because it was really his job. It's huge Ferris, and it was showing building in a very elementary way, but with a lot of drama. And this as well, I think, is interesting. It took me like 10 years, well, 7 years, to make people admit that night is dark, like black, all dark. And it's impossible. And for example, that before the computer, to explain to an architect that the windows are not blue or reflecting blue, they are reflecting blue only if there is a blue sky. If there is a gray sky, it will reflect gray. But there was codes like, you know, the sky is always blue and the windows are always blue. That's the essence of it. And actually, this was the very beginning of when I really became interesting into doing images. It was the moment when, what the hell, I want to do a dark night, and that's it, because night is dark and your building will look nice in the dark and point on. But it has taken like so many years to make it. And this guy, he did it. And actually what is nice is that he was working for Miss van der Rohe. This is a Miss van der Rohe building. And the style is not at all Miss van der Rohe, and the expression is not at all as well. But this is a fantastic drawings, because there is nothing. It's just a shape, and you can barely read the floors. But this is what is nice. It's that it is a mental image. And then we're switching to so this is the guy. So it was really huge. It's not like being on the screen. I mean, it was huge, and it was painting and charcoal and everything. It was incredible. This is my favorite architectural drawing. It's a drawing by Miss van der Rohe, and I think this is all. This is the building. This is the attitude. This is nicely done. I mean, the proportions are just incredible. I mean, and what Miss is showing through this drawing is himself, what he wants, what is the method, what is the relation in between the object. Well, to tell it frankly, it's what it is. This drawing, in my opinion, is reflecting 99% of what Miss van der Rohe is. And this is why I love drawings and I love images, because they have a real meaning, they are deep. And again, it's just a collage. It's just maybe he did it in 10 minutes. And this is what I like. I mean, your mind is free, you have 10 minutes, you do a nice collage, and some French will explain, some people from Kiev, oh, it was wonderful. Damn it, life is always a surprise. Okay, oh, this one I love. This I had to show you because it's called the hand trick. You know, when you do something extremely complicated and you want to fake like it's extremely simple, you just put a hand and it looks like a magic trick. And it's extraordinary because the effect is always the same, but it's super complicated what to do. No, watch my hand. Yeah. Oh, great, oh yeah, I see now, it's cool. But it's not, of course, but it's just a trick. So you students, when you have one, for example, you did something extremely complicated and that is difficult to explain, just take a picture with the thing in your hand. It will explain everything. And so you can go and get drunk in the park, which is the essence of life, of course, you know. That's the plan voisin from Le Corbusier. I mean, it's not really funny, but what is interesting in the drawing is this as well. It's an axonometry, and it's showing the ambience. I mean, the cars. Have you seen how many cars there is in there? I mean, the people, the cars, the everything. It's nice because as well it's a trick. I mean, if you want to show that something is working, you put a zillion people. Make it a simple rule. When you do a building and you put only one guy, people will be depressed. If you do a building and you put a zillion people and kids with balloons and dogs and girls kissing and everything, yeah, this is a successful building. Don't do that, it's bad. But still, you have to earn your life, so maybe do it sometimes. Okay, this is as well one of my favorite. Of course, naked girls always working. This for the boys, it's always working. This is as well something I think is extremely interesting because it's a drawing by Oscar Niemeyer. And what is nice is that actually I've checked the proportion of the drawings are the exact proportion of the final column, well, the final facade. And it's surprising that a few people are really capable of synthesizing exactly what I have in mind and make it like it's a perfect proportion. This is something that I would like to do, but unfortunately I'm too dumb. But it makes me dreaming always. I mean, and of course because it will work, you have time to draw naked women. And a pair of them, by the way. This is cool. Ah, yeah. This as well I love. It's Julius Schulman. So Julius Schulman has a tremendous importance in computer rendering because he made the situation perfect. And this is fantastic. Making a situation perfect is a work of art. I mean, look at that girl. It's the colors are perfect. The guy is ready to serve a little martini or something. She's looking at probably a kid playing, you know, blonde girl, just and then you want to be a part of it. I mean, I fucking want to live in this house because this is the perfect light I want. I mean, I can be tall in a house like that because it's just my imagination. Because the same here, look like that, Los Angeles, the calm of the night, and little, you know, insect. That's fantastic. And even better, look at that party. That's a party. That's what I'm calling a party. She has a glass with candies. And the guy, you've seen that is all metal and there is a fire, but it doesn't burn. That's life, as we want it. I mean, oh yeah, they're having fun. You don't have the sound, but okay, this as well is extremely important in terms of what has been done in drawings. I mean, I'm teaching at the School of Architecture as well, and most of the students, they really think that Archigram is working because the images are so pregnant, so important, that students are really thinking that you can make city that moves, that you can have this sort of thing. That's been the most terrible problem in my career, to explain like it's mental, it's not for real. I mean, you can't build, you know, housing into mountains and put trees on top of it because it's just not working. You need to have, you know, a window, you need to have everything. And this is as well one of the most it's an important impact, and they build nothing or nearly nothing. Most of the Archigram guy, well, except the Centre Georges Pompidou, but it's nearly nothing. But their image, they had this incredible influence, and most of the architects working actually are really influenced by Archigram because they're cool, and the name is nice as well. I love Archigram. It's just nice. It's a city. It's not a city. It's a bit of the actual city. You know, there are people, there are cars, the bridge. It looks like now, surprisingly, with a lot of drugs, but still, yeah. This is what I love. It's Super Studio. It was an Italian studio, and they were here to frighten you. And as well, I think fear and, you know, doom and you know, nasty things are really a vector of power. And I don't see the point of not using fear in a drawing, because officially it's working. So why not? And this is what they did. They terrify the good people. You know, we will do this. What? But my house is just, yeah, well, we don't care, damn it. We're just building a huge structure and that's it. Go away. Of course they didn't, but it's, you know, yeah. You built a house just here. Yeah. That will be a problem. Actually, it's not that fake, because, you know, in Italy there is a building that is 1 kilometer long. So, in a way, it's really happening, and it's good as well, because drawings, they have a political meaning. I mean, if I really want to fuck an architect, you know, because I don't think this project is bad, I just have to do a bad drawings. And I have this, you know, I have an advance compared to him. I'm good at drawing. And if he's doing a bad project, I can do a very bad drawing and then show it, and then it's done. In a way, you know, I'm a superhero of small size, but still. I'm not very courageous as well. But. Okay, this is as well Sid Meads. He did the design for Blade Runner and a lot of movies. And what is nice is that you see the method of representation. This building looks of the right scale. I mean, it's something you understand. But what is nice is that with a drawing, you can make things much bigger. And then you are translating an emotion. You are doing something that certainly has a significance. And it's nice because, again, it's just, you know, pen and paper, and that's it. So it's just to show you that this is the Blade Runner movie, the set, the drawings that were made for the set. It's not a very good movie, actually, I think. But actually, most of the people are seeing the city this way. There are more, you see a sci-fi movie, 99% of the movies will show a city this way. I mean, with fog, with gigantic geisha talking, and with spacecraft. But actually, I'm never crashing into the buildings for some reason. But I mean, you know, drunk into this sort of thing, I will go straight in the mouth of the poor geisha. Luckily, I'm not driving, so I made a choice when I was younger. I mean, it's either you drink or you drive, so I choose to drink and have people drive me. Okay, this as well. This is just for me then. This is what has changed all my life. This movie, it's Close Encounters of the Third Kind, and it's actually extremely well that I've seen this movie. I had no idea what it was. It was the first time I went to a movie without my parents, because they choose to go to see a, I don't know, R-rated movie, and it was forbidden for kids, and so they let me with an Australian couple, which is nothing you will do at all time, but in the 70s it was like, take my kid, I don't care, I have another one. I went to see the movie, and it was like an orgasm for a kid. I mean, there was lights, there was the sound, it was like everything, and I was without my parents. And probably it made me. This movie just made me, and a few other things, but this is what it is. And as you can see, the Luxigon, what people are telling is the Luxigon style. It's really Close Encounters of the Third Kind, but without the music, which is too bad. But sometimes we do as well animation. Okay, next one. So Douglas Trumbull, the guy who did the special effect for Blade Runner, also did the special effect for Close Encounters, and this guy also did the special effect for 2001 Space Odyssey. So I was in love with this guy from the very beginning. I mean, well, I'm a boy, I'm not gay, that I know, but Douglas Trumbull, you're not true love. Because they are probably the most incredible movie in the world. This is computer graphics, but well done by an architect called Neil Dinnery. The same Neil Dinnery, less inspired. OMA, and what is interesting is that actually I love OMA because they are now, and everything that you've seen before, they can aggregate all the medias and turn it into architecture, whether it's built or unbuilt. And the SMXR book is in a way my second, you know, third encounter from the Third Kind. I mean, it's It was a moment. Okay, this is interesting because this is the real building. This is the V-Ray rendering. It's funny that the V-Ray is better than the original building, but don't think so. It's just because the angle is better. For real, the other one is better because it's existing. And it's something very twisted. This guy is doing, Bertrand Benoit, is doing computer renderings. So it looks extremely realistic. And there is one fucked up guy that is doing the image but for real. Oh, where is that? I mean, you do a computer rendering that is, extremely accurate and everything, and then there's a guy that is reconstructing the exact same thing to make it real. I mean, we won. We perspectivists, we won because we use computer and people are making the thing for real for us. Okay. Interesting facts. So it's for people that want to, do my job. So the best is to never do anything that is medical because it's forbidden to, make things darker, fear, and everyone. So you have to have people dying in good health, which is surprising, but that's the way it is. So when you're showing an hospital, everybody is like smiling. Because if you put a race, you won't sell the hospital. Oh, you see how twisted it is? And of course commercial, because money is disgusting. And what is the best is rock museums, which I will show one because I love rock museum. This is these are 14 images I did. The office is doing images, but when I'm doing a lecture, I'd rather show my own images. This is the one that started it all. It was a problem. It was the first time I was working on a really nice project. So it's a project from Rex in the US. And Josh has become one of my best friends, actually. And he was doing a tower in Louisville, and it was impossible to show. And the deadline was approaching, and it was like, oh my God, I can't show from the street, it's not working, we don't have pictures, how can we show a building, it's, with everything around, if you don't just have a picture of it, so I said, yeah, maybe I can be on the roof of a building. And then I typed roof building sunset. And then this was the first picture I got while on Flickr. It was guys playing, racquetball on top of a building. And I said like, yeah, let's stick. So I stick the picture, and my plan was to remove the guy. And it was working so well that I discovered that it was possible to do graphism based on what I like, with a bit of, random. And this image has been published like everywhere because it was an image that was extremely unusual. And I did it by mistake in a way. And it has changed most of the codes of the architectural image now. It's not like I have invented everything or I'm clever, but because I'm dumb, I have changed a few things. And this showed. This as well is a nice image because, as you can see, it's night and it's dark and it's fucking beautiful. It's not blue and it's frightening and there is a kid alone in there. Because I'm French. Okay. Nice stuff, man. This is a building from MVRDV as well, and what was nice is that Vinimas told me about the movie. He said, my building is a movie. And it's a movie from Peter Greenaway. And then he died. No, he told me the title of the movie, I watched the movie, and then I understood that what he wanted is actually not the building itself, it was what is happening in between the building. And then there is a real story in the image, and I think that is as well something interesting. If they lose the competition, the image will still be there, because it's not everything is about the building. It's also the guy who did the image and the story that is in the image. And this is why it's always pleasing to you. Even if you see an image, you can see it like many times. For example, the Rembrandt paintings. Every time there is a Rembrandt, I watch it, and I say, damn it, it's even better than last time. Actually, it's not, but maybe better than last time. Okay, this is a super nice image. This is another nice image. We do only nice images, but for lectures. This as well is that you don't need computer powers and everything to do an image. You just do it white, a few people, and so it's not V-Ray that will do an image, or it's not the computer. A lot of students think that it's a very, the software is working, while actually it's not. This as well is something interesting, is that a lot of really famous architects are doing competitions, and sometimes they lose competition, but we have the images of the competition, we have the traces, And this is what I like as well in the work I'm doing, is that I did more airports than anyone else. I did like, I don't know, 50 airports. I'm the king of airports. And when there is a new office that is saying, I did an airport, I say, I did 50, damn it. And you're all wrong with the way you're working, because after a moment, you know all things are working. And actually, I can just by seeing the section, the elevation, or whatever documents, I can say how much the building cost. And when they are getting too far. Sometimes it's just like, okay, this can be done with the budget you have. But do it in rendering. Yes, I know, but if you want, then it will be shorter. Should it be shorter now, so it's not a problem later? Generally, they say no, because the whole point is winning. It's important to win. I love to win as well. And this is nice, because I'm still doing competitions, actually not really seriously, but this is something that I'm interested in as well. So it was a competition for the Helsinki Harbor, and we received the brief, and the brief was extremely precise, like there will be a flower shop here, there will be, kids playing in there, whatever, And sometimes because you do renderings and you don't really care about what it's all about. I was reading a book on, volcanoes, and I was thinking, like, if Helsinki has some sort of volcano, the flower shop and everything, it would be completely secondary. So I proposed to put enormous dark balls over cities. And these balls are here for no reason, but sometimes they emit smoke, and sometimes there is the storm and everything, and people will just enjoy their simple life every day. Like, maybe I will die tomorrow because of this huge device in the sky. Maybe I should, see my kid more often. Maybe I should, plant a tree because I'm afraid to die. And think of it seriously. Why the hell would you be under a volcano? There is so much place. There is so much space. Why under a volcano? People are weird. That's the end of it. In the end, it's not about, okay, case study, I would go faster. Yeah, American, slowly. Break the fucking effect already. Okay, so I will go fast. It's just the way we are working. We were doing this project for AMA. It's a justice, court. And the point was it's a very simple building, and actually it's designed like a balance. And this was the image they had, and it's nice when you're working with someone and has something in mind, and they can show you. And this image changed everything, because normally when you do renderings, you choose always the weird angle, it's a wide angle, so it looks really enormous. And nobody is doing anymore, simple central point perspective. And that was the moment. So because Remcool has 8 renderings, by the way, I can do whatever I want, because in the end he will yell at me and say that I'm a nasty French and whatever. I will say okay, and done. This is my life with Rem. And so we started with the twisted angle, but this is not like justice. Justice is something very simple, and in the end. It's taking time. I mean, it's a long process, like a few hours or something. And then we choose to make it perfectly equal. And what is nice as well is that I had to put the Eiffel Tower in the background. Well, actually, the Eiffel Tower is. So that's the Eiffel Tower I put. This is where the Eiffel Tower actually is, in Ukraine, in Odessa. But it's a rendering, so we can do whatever we want. I mean, even the Eiffel Tower I can change. And we did the same for the interior. You know, twisted angle, not calm, it's not justice. What you want from justice is something calm and actually in the middle. So there is as well meanings into small things. People that are not in our field, they won't notice what the drawing is conveying. Actually, you are understanding perfectly. And that's the whole point of doing what I'm doing, is sometimes you just do it simple so people will understand that it's simple. In the end, they lose the competition. Because you can have the most clever idea and everything, but it's just, yeah, that's the way it is. Okay, rock museum. So I want to show you rock museum, because my idol is Iggy Pop. I love Iggy Pop from all my heart. I mean, Douglas Trumbo and Iggy Pop. And it was nice because it was as well, it was a project with MVRDV, and I fought like no one else against what the project they were doing. I mean, I was yelling all. I said, no, I won't do the rendering. Do the rendering. No, it's rock and roll. It has to be dirty. It has to be, you know, something different. No, no, do it clean. Do it clean. No, 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 no. I'm a guitar player. I played rock and roll all my life. What I don't want, if I go to a concert, what I want is rock and roll. So there is an imagery for rock and roll as well. And really, I was just fighting. I mean, this is what rockers want. I mean, they don't want something that is clean. They want fucked up kid. They want, you know, weird girls playing guitar. They want, you know, balloons with skulls. That's real rock and roll. So you see blood, lights, with paper on the ground. Cool. And as you can see, I have a little logo. So I did the pleasure of putting my little logo, like I'm the guy who is doing the concert. Yeah, I'm a star, but not for real. So as well, you can see that there are dark people and an angel. This is, you know, the story of life, and that's rock and roll. As well, this is a subliminal message, but in the end, it's for real. This guy, to keep him in the image, it has been yelling over the phone for a year. No, we don't want a brown guy selling T-shirts, but there will be a brown guy selling T-shirts. We don't want it on the image, but there will be a brown guy selling T-shirts. There will be 10 guys selling T-shirts. I will keep the guy and he will sell T-shirts, damn it. And they kept the guy. And they won the competition. And they sent me the most expensive electric guitar on catalog. I just can play it, it's so expensive. But this is what I call rock and roll. And sometimes it's just working because instead of doing what they say, sometimes you do what they don't want, and sometimes it is really working. And that's the part of my job I love the most, is when people are intelligent enough to endure, you know, something that is against what they want. And these guys, Kobe and MVRDV, are fantastic. Okay, so you've seen 107 slides, and you are good people. And this is the end. Thank you.